I'm going to teach you one trick that's going to smooth out your strumming on electric or acoustic guitar in 2 minutes and keep your strumming improving over the next few weeks and months. My name's Jake, and I've been teaching the coolest people on the internet how to play guitar for the past 16 years. By the end of this video, your strumming will be smoother and you'll know what to do to keep your strumming improving. First, I'm going to explain why our strumming often feels clunky. Second, I'm going to give you an exercise you can use to fix it. And at the end, as a bonus, I'm going to give you my #1 strumming hack to keep you from dropping your pick and to make your strumming sound and feel better. Often our chord changes don't sound smooth because as we change chords, we don't get the next chord right on the beat. So let me demonstrate. If I'm strumming and I kind of have to pause to get to the next chord, it's going to make my strumming sound clunky and a little sloppy and not in the groove. The problem though is that our hands can only move so fast. As a beginner, your hands are going to speed up as you continue to learn guitar, but even professionals can only get their fingers to move to the next chord so quickly. So what do? In order to sound smooth, we need to make sure that we get beat 1, or the beat that the new chord happens, correct, like this. What we do to make that happen is we actually leave the chord that we're on early so that we can get to the next chord on the beat that it starts and play that one confidently and well. Let me demonstrate again. You saw that last strum of the D chord. I lifted up my fingers and then I strummed the C chord correctly. Now when I just played it, it sounded a little wrong, but in context, when you're hearing me strum the D, you hear a couple open chords and then that C chord lands right on time. It sounds much more smooth. So how do we practice this? When we're practicing, as we're counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Decide what beat you're going to lift up your fingers on to change. You can leave as early as you need to during practice to get to the chord on time. You could just strum beat 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now that doesn't sound great, but it is a good practice to get us strumming and playing correctly. The idea though is we want to go all the way till on beat 4 or right after 4 is when we lift up our fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. When we prioritize landing on new chords with the rest of the band, with the recording or with the metronome, we are going to sound smoother instantly. Before I give you my #1 hack for not dropping your pick while you're strumming, if you've been getting a lot out of this lesson, I think you would get a lot out of my community and course. If you want to check it out, you can find it at school.com/guitargympro. All right, so here's how we keep from dropping our pick. We need to do 2 things. We need to loosen our grip on the pick. I know that sounds crazy, but let me explain. And we need to lighten our touch on the strings. So when we grip our pick really firmly and then we force it through the strings, not only does it not sound great, but in order to not drop our pick, we have to use a lot of force and tension. So then we end up trying to sound better and play better, relaxing a little bit, but we're still forcing the pick through, and it tends to jerk the pick out of our fingers because we're using so much force against the strings. Instead, I want you to imagine that your strings are like a sheet of paper and your pick is a paintbrush that you're trying to just gently brush over the strings. You want to just kiss the strings with your pick, which lets you have a really light grip on your pick as you strum. And because you have a light grip on your pick and you're brushing the strings lightly, you are able to keep the pick in the same position because the strings aren't forcing your pick to the side, causing you to drop it. When you're strumming, do you like to use thin picks or do you like to use thick picks? I like over 1 millimeter, really thick picks, but let me know your preference in the comments and why.